Once again, I'm on Everybody Can Go podcast, also known as the E.B.C.G. I am your host, Willmatic TV, and the TV stands for Tunnel Vision. Appreciate you all for the pull-up, episode 49, season 3. Had to spin on y'all one time, you know what I'm saying? We got 5 more days left in the year. 36 days since my last episode is crazy. I'm not gonna hold you. And realistically, I'm low-key overwhelmed with how I even want to tackle this episode. I'm not even really sure. I don't even have a format. I kind of just was you know what, fam? Just hit the record button and figure it out on the way, right? And that's kind of what this has been, actually. As I reflect on, on the year, I started this podcast really the end of last year. I mean, really, if you've been following along, you know what I'm saying? You've probably heard me say it 1,000 times that I started podcasting in Left Rack City at 7 years old or 8 on cassette tapes where I literally would I would destroy. I went through so many cassette tapes, man, just trying to record and just figure out, basically my style and how I wanted to present myself to the masses, fam. I've been working on this podcast. This is really 30 years in the making is what I'm saying, right? Low key. So yeah, technically 2022, the end of 2022, that's when I kind of said, all right, let me actually make it official, you know what I'm saying? And give it a name, right? And this is where we at now. Episode 49, season 3. I'm not really even sure if this is season 3 right now. I'm not really sure. I want to this might just be a little bonus season 2, New Year's recap type of vibe. I'll figure that out by the time I get to the end of this episode. We gonna have to definitely, let me see if I still got it. Hold on, let me dust off. Wait a minute. New mic. Who's this? Yeah, absolutely. You probably wondering right now why I sound a little different, other than the fact that I'm definitely, kind of dealing with I'm not even really sure if this is COVID or, you know what I'm saying? I might have the new strain of COVID right now, fam. I'm kind of dealing with a little chest cold right now, so, I'm under the weather, whatever the case may be. But I definitely upgraded, and finally got the microphone. God, it only took me 49 episodes to finally say, you know what, fam? But, it was never really about, for me, like I said, we're going to reflect on this episode. You know what I'm saying? It's the end of the year. 5 more days left in the year. It's December 26th, which also means that it's the first day of Kwanzaa. Which, black people, we barely even acknowledge Kwanzaa, you know what I'm saying, which is crazy. We still giving gifts on the 25th. It's fam, Kwanzaa, there's 7 days. We got more days for gifts in Kwanzaa. Realistically, fam, Kwanzaa might be the better. That shit just don't have a good marketing campaign, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Christmas, the marketing campaign for Christmas. This episode is unofficially brought to you by FanDuel, by the way. Because this microphone definitely was bought courtesy of FanDuel. Nah, but shout out to FanDuel. FanDuel is low-key. I have a theory that's low-key just basically, the reparations that we supposed to get for slavery and shit. Somehow I feel like they figured out a way to kind of I feel like FanDuel might be our reparations low-key, fam. And I'm just saying, I feel like I might be onto something. I need a big game from Ja Morant tonight. I definitely need 8 assists for sure. Ja got 8 for me though. He got 8. We seen what he did on that comeback, and I feel like we gonna have to get into that a little bit later, right? There's a lot to get to, obviously, right? It's been 36 goddamn days. My docket is I can't even see all of the words I put on here, fam. I got shit all over this shit. Right? But obviously, Ja Morant definitely, made his triumphant return, to Memphis, back to the NBA, you know what I'm saying? Back in the league. And, definitely didn't waste any time reminding folks, why he's Ja Morant. And I mean, at this point, quite frankly, why he can kind of get away with having a gun in a strip club. You know what I'm saying? Let's be clear. That shit is all the way forgotten after that game winner. Right? And realistically, fam, they should never even make a mention of that incident. At this point, come on, man. The dribble spin over 3 defenders, fam. The floater. Yeah, I think that it's pretty safe to say that Ja Morant will be the face of the NBA at some point. I'm jumping way ahead of where I'm trying to be right now. So let me slow down. Hold on. Take a swig of this water. Like I said, I'm definitely under the weather, so I'm gonna be all over the place. Y'all gonna have to just bear with me, right? I feel like I had a whole year, so let's just get that. You know what I'm saying? I guess we get to the elephant in the room. Obviously, this the thing. I had a situation. Like I said, man, it's been 36 days. I had to take a step back, coming on here to talk about other people and other people's situations. You know what I'm saying? I had my own situations I had to kind of sort through, and I had to kind of focus on my docket, if you understand what I'm saying. And obviously, it's so crazy, you know what I'm saying, that the kid, I know y'all was probably thinking, I was kind of, this the thing, right? Because I don't even really know how to even get into this, right? I had a legal situation. Obviously, I've been very, very vocal about it. I wasn't really sure. I was kind of unclear on where my, kind of what the future for Willmatic TV was there for a certain time. They basically had me on ice, fam. I wasn't really sure which direction I could go in. At a certain point, it kind of was just like, all right, fam, different plea offers were, sent in my direction, and, I kind of heard the offers, and I rejected the offers, right? They sent me 2 plea offers, all this shit. I say all that to say this, man. As of November 22nd, 2023, all charges were dismissed. Case dropped. Yeah, I walked away scot-free, You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold you. I felt like I was low-key in a Tory Lanez situation there for a second there. Like, I might have Tory Lanez myself. Like, should I have took those 2 plea offers, fam? So now I guess I could kind of, be more vocal, and, I guess I could just kind of flat out just let y'all know what the situation was. Y'all been following along the whole time. Y'all been tuned in. I've been kind of keeping y'all up to date, right? I feel like it's a part of me. I feel like it's only right that I guess now get into more details like I said I would do, right? And like I said, man, 36 days off. I feel like I should hold this off until I get back into my, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not really all the way back in my groove yet. You feel me? I'm off a 36-day layoff, fam. I'm still with him, right? Is this story time? Let me get in my, hold on. Let me see if I can, because I'm not going to hold you. Like I said, 36 days off. I had some time to go back and, kind of reflect, look, listen to certain previous episodes. I definitely was able to retrieve some of the lost files, off of the SoundCloud. Like I told y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all probably wondering why on the Spotify, on the Apple, pardon me, on all of the DSPs, really, it starts from episode 18, and that's because I started actually posting the, original episodes were done on SoundCloud, right? And I didn't have enough storage over there, and that was a whole thing. But I figured out a way to go in and download those files, and I do have those files on deck. So I say all that to say this. If you're looking for them earlier episodes, fam, I got them on deck. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna, what I can do to, more than likely, I would just probably have to re-upload them, I guess, on the SoundCloud. I'm gonna have to, upgrade my plan to get more storage or whatever the case may be. I digress completely. Case motherfucking dismissed, right? So let's get to it, fam. This was nothing more than just a situation where, the justice system, I feel like we already kind of all are familiar, and, aware of what that is at this point, So, I just feel like at a certain point, if you're making a conscious decision to participate, in, this form of slavery that, that they basically, kind of inflicted upon our community. At the end of the day, a lot of people do things to put themselves in certain situations, but, this was one of them situations where I straight up was I was attacked and I had to defend myself. Now, you probably thinking to yourself, that's not even really, we see that people get attacked every day, B. And yeah, sure. But the only difference with this situation is I was attacked by the individual who basically was, playing the victim role, right? So it was one of those weird situations where I kind of had to, do what I had to do. But at the same time, I was my hands was tied. Right? I'm trying to see, do I really want to, get into real detail? I might have to hold that off, fam. You know what I'm going to do? This is what we're going to do, right? Because realistically, I have a whole series already, right? I already kind of started reflecting on, previous jobs and, certain situations. So what we'll do is we'll add that, because this was definitely, pardon me, I'm hitting the mic. Hold on, mic check. At a previous, this was definitely some shit that happened at work. So I feel like we're going to have to add this to the series. The workforce, my stories in the workforce and all that. But what I will say is this definitely was at my job or former job, whatever the case may be. And in those type of situations, it's kind of like you can't really, it's really like you don't really have any leeway there. It's tough, man. It's tough. And especially when you're dealing with certain individuals who don't have any, I'm really struggling. I just feel like it's the end of the year. I don't really got nothing to hold back at this point, right? The situation is done with. All right, so check it out, right? This is the situation. I'm at work. Obviously, we've all been in a situation where we at work and, we just dealing with shady individuals at work, right? That's pretty common as I'm starting to really, grow to learn. And at this point, fam, 9 to 5 is how you survive. I ain't trying to survive. I'm trying to, what Jay said, because at the end of the day, fam, these situations are not set up for you to kind of basically just come in there, earn an income, and, put money in your bank account. There's a whole lot that comes with, and I truly do feel like there needs to be a movie for real, just about the truth behind what's really going on in this workforce, right? And just how situations, and I could see how basically an individual can end up in a situation where you're basically being pinned with a narrative, and now certain things can play out and you can end up basically getting jammed up, basically is what I'm saying. And it might not have been what the narrative was, if that makes any sense. In other words, you really just gotta pick and choose your battles wisely, right? So my whole thing is this: I'm just trying to get a check out of y'all niggas at the end of the day, fam. I'm not really here for nothing else, right? 9 times out of 10, you run into situations where you see, other people be there for the something else. Now, I'm not really even sure what the something else is most of the time, right? But I'm harping on it a little bit too much. Like I said, man, we're going to add this to the series and we could really get in depth to basically just the start and finish of that and what was really going on and even how that situation even got to where it got to a point where some shit had to get physical, right? All I can say is about, all I can speak to is my character. And it's just as far as me, and if you know me good enough, if you've been listening to the podcast, I hit the mic again, pardon me. Hold on. And I say, well, just say this, it's just certain shit I'm just not going for, right? And this was basically one of them situations where it was just something I couldn't go for. Fast forward, long story short, You know what I'm saying? Shit got physical. You feel me? Now, I wasn't the aggressor in this situation. I got to just keep it all the way 1,000. I wasn't. I was actually the person who was attacked. I actually thought it was crazy and absurd that an individual could sit there and basically call the police and frame the situation to where, you know, it would insinuate that I kind of, you know, had a weapon on me. And, you know, once again, we going back to the narrative, right? So me knowing what I know, you know what I'm saying, and basically seeing how these situations have played out 1,000 times, it kind of put me in a situation where it was kind of like, I don't want to just take off and leave with that narrative, because obviously now, you understand what I'm saying? I need to probably kind of, I might need to clear my name here first before I know it, you know, I was attacked. I quickly had to make a, you know, quick decision on like what happens next. Next thing you know, we ended up over a desk, over the table. This took place in the office setting, which, you know what I'm saying, like I said, work situation. We was actually in an office, like, so like I said, needless to say that my intentions wasn't really for that, you know what I'm saying, to transpire the way it did. Obviously, that's hard to really prove when you're in a situation where there's other people involved and it's kind of their word against yours, right? And there was no cameras, right? I mean, and that was pretty much the gist of it, you know what I'm saying? At that point, the police was already called on their way. So I had to really, you know what I'm saying, basically show restraint for real. I had to show restraint and still defend myself, right? Like, I'm not about to let a nigga not about to just get his shit off. And at the same time, I'm like, all right, let me be very, very, like, cautious on how I proceed. You know what I'm saying? If I do any serious damage, and what was said on the phone, you know what I'm saying? I was standing there and I heard everything that was said. Fast forward, fam, you know what I'm saying? The police come and do what the police usually do. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do their job. They didn't really investigate. They didn't really do any real. They kind of just came in, took one side of the story, and that was kind of that. They booked me, you know what I'm saying? And you feel me? I had my day in court, right? They give you souped up charges. Obviously, they had me for a felony assault. Like I said, I was attacked. I never even really threw a punch for real. Obviously, they didn't know if I was telling the truth or not. Like I said, I had to be real cautious on how I, you know, defended myself. Because like I said, if I would have left any serious damage, I mean, all of the damage that was done to all of the stuff that was in the office, my laptop, and that was basically why and how we got to the wired headphone episodes and shit, where I was basically recording through the wired headphones, fam, because I didn't have a laptop, fam. My laptop got destroyed in that whole melee, right? So all of this is going on. I'm really sitting there like, I had full faith that I was going to be able to, you know, kind of just get through that situation, really, regardless on how it played out. Because like I said, I wasn't sure just for the simple fact on how the situation played out, you know, and how inconvenienced I was from the start. You know, after that situation, I had to go sit in a cell, you know what I'm saying? They got me in there cuffed. Other niggas is in there, they taking other niggas' cuffs off. Yeah, I got me in a situation. I just got out of a physical situation. You about to put me in another situation where I could potentially be, and I'm at a disadvantage now with my... So I say all that to say this, man. I had to kind of endure what I had to endure, man. And that was, realistically, it's so crazy, like... So the day this happens is just like, you know what I'm saying? This literally happened on a day... You know, that just is like a day that already kind of has, you know, a lot of meaning and significance, you know, to me, to say the least, right? This happened on June 28th, you know, so it was already kind of just like, you know, I had to kind of keep that in my mind, like, all right, maybe I need to look a little deeper. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain things probably do happen for a reason, is what I'm saying, you know. What can I honestly say I learned from that situation? I can't really say I learned anything other than the fact that, you know what I'm saying? I really should have just, you know what I'm saying? Realistically, not at all though. Not at all. And the fact that I was able to kind of, walk away from that situation, realistically, thank God I didn't cop out to those pleas, because them shits was ridiculous. They would have had me doing community service. I feel like more than likely I'd have been on probation, if I'm not mistaken. Like, you know what I'm saying? And all that does is leave the door open for you to kind of basically slip up and just fall into that trap further down the line, right? And they kind of keep you in the system without being in this. You know what I'm saying? That's a trap within itself. I definitely am going to revisit this, because like I said, I ain't even really want to, I kind of just brushed over that. Yeah, they tried to get me out of here right before MAMBA year. I said, nah, man, hold on. I'm going to have my day in court. It's all good. But yeah, man, walked away scot-free. Case dismissed. Yeah, it is what it is. Jonathan Majors, unfortunately, didn't really have the same outcome, with his court date. And, I definitely was paying attention to, obviously, that's the one thing that, if there's anything I could say I took away from my legal situation, right, is that from now on, it changes forever the way I view other people's legal situation, right? And that's the one takeaway for me, where it's kind of just like, all right, I know I see now. I kind of see, I seen it. I've seen it. I've seen how they can literally kind of just basically just put a narrative out there, It doesn't have to be the truth. It doesn't have to be, it just has to be a believable narrative, or just, basically whatever they choose to go with in the moment, basically, right? Now you sitting in court, you got a suit on, you sitting there he had his Bible at a certain point. That whole thing has been, obviously this has been playing out, over the course of, my situation and Jonathan Major's situation, let's be clear, are two completely different situations, right? Jonathan Major's situation was a domestic situation, My situation was just a nigga acting like a female. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really the same. It didn't hit the same, right? All puns intended. This was like some, obviously boyfriend and girlfriend. The optics here, obviously, one can argue that maybe race or racism can have played a role to a certain degree. I can't necessarily say that, just for the simple fact that I didn't see. Basically, I haven't really been that invested to the point where I've been watching, so I don't really know what the demo is in the courtroom, right? I don't know what the judge is. I don't know what the jury is as far as demographically, but I would assume, you know what I'm saying? It's safe to assume that having a white girlfriend and being a black, successful, actor in Hollywood on the rise doesn't necessarily play to your favor in the courtroom, right? And like I said, not only because of my situation, but just because I just feel like, certain situations don't necessarily add up. Initially, we didn't really know. I don't want to spend that much time on this. This is the new year. Listen, man, episode 49, we wrapping it up. We just recapping, you know what I'm saying? And realistically, I spoke on this Jonathan Major situation on a previous episode, Jonathan Major in a major bind, and that was kind of what I had on my docket at the time. And that was before I had any real information, right? At that time, it just sounded it was just a narrative, right? Now I know from personal experience that we can't just go with what the narrative is. And at that particular time, it didn't look good. It didn't look good. He had certain people in his camp, certain people in his team, and, long-time assistants and managers, if I'm not mistaken, at the time, people leaving, basically resigning from their positions. And at that time, it just seemed like, all right, maybe there was something that they kind of knew or seen, right? But then, once this thing kind of played out and we get to the point where now footage comes out and the footage is showing, Jonathan Majors, it looked like they was somewhere in Manhattan, in the city. And it's surveillance basically showing him and his girlfriend getting into some type of, verbal altercation. We don't really see everything as far as, at a certain point they're inside of a vehicle. So I'm not really sure, I don't think there's any footage of them in the vehicle, right? But then it's like, who's the Uber driver that was driving them, he testified. Like I said, I don't want to harp on this too much. At this point, this is all public consumption. This is all, public information. Everything is out there. And we kind of know what the verdict is now. And that's really what I wanted to get to. I'm sitting here playing out the verdict is really what. So what did they get him with exactly, right? I want to be real clear about what this verdict is. And like I said, this has been playing out over I'm not even really sure. It seems like it's been over a year at least now, right? At least a year, it seems. After a 3-week trial and 2 days of jury deliberation, Jonathan Majors, the Emmy-nominated star of Lovecraft Country and Creed 3, has been found guilty on charges of misdemeanor assault and harassment. Right? So after the dust settles, after it's all said and done, surveillance footage, pardon me, it just seemed like at a certain point, once the surveillance footage came out, that, that he would be vindicated, basically, right? It seemed like, based on what we seen in that surveillance footage, right, which was brief and not the whole totality of what may or may not have transpired that night, right? Because like I said, there's other parts where they're not being shown on surveillance. But based on what they're charging him with, I mean, once again, and me just basically being an individual who's been in similar situations at this point, right? And it ain't like, even with that last situation, that was the first time I had to go stand in front of the court and actually deal with some shit. But that wasn't my first goddamn walk through the goddamn park as far as, just turbulent situations with other individuals as far as physical. I can't necessarily say I've been in a domestic situation though, right? And I want to be real clear on that this is not the same situation here. And the optics are definitely not the same, right? If it would have been a white girl accusing me of what I just got accused with, I'm pretty sure that I would have probably still been. When was my court date? It was actually today, right? Or was it the 23rd? It was somewhere around here. I don't even remember anymore. That's so crazy. Once the case is dismissed, it's kind of just like, you just kind of, you know what I mean? Everything kind of just, that file is deleted. You know what I'm saying? I forgot I had that shit locked in. I don't remember that shit now. I'm pretty sure it was December. I think it was today, though, honestly. Because I feel like it was like, I remember feeling like, dang, they doing this shit right on Christmas, they got me? It was right before or after Christmas. My point is this, the case is goddamn dismissed now, fam. There is no more court date. Unfortunately for Jonathan Majors, there will probably be several more court dates. From what I'm understanding, he is, pardon me, obviously he wants to clear his name, because this does seem like it's kind of just like, I don't know, man, like, what exactly did he do, right? Like, that's all I'm looking for, right? Like, did he put his hands on the lady or not, bro? I just feel like if he would have physically put hands on this lady and hurt her, and physically, that's not what these charges are reflecting. This is misdemeanor assault and harassment. And I feel like this is also what I feel like. The video definitely did show at a certain point him like picking, I don't even know this lady's name. I just feel like as a podcaster, that is me being lazy. This is lazy journalism. I will acknowledge the fact that I am being very, very lazy right now. And I almost don't want to even look it up. Because it's just like, bro, like, we didn't know who you were before this. Like, why would I need to know your name now? I don't want to know her name. I'm not going to look it up. But that is lazy journalism though, right? I should know her name. This lady, we don't, like, he picked her up and physically put her back into the Escalade, the Uber Black and shit. Fam, I do feel like, yeah, okay, as far as when you're in the courtroom, that's not going to work, that doesn't play out good for you. Just for the simple fact that, once again, the narrative at this point, this is the flu pod, fam. Because I'm really like podding with the whole flu, coronavirus. I got it all right now, fam. But I'm going to get this pod out because at the end of the day, we're not going to end the year with a 30, 40-day layoff, fam. That's crazy. I took 36 days off. You feel me? And it wasn't even like I couldn't come and give y'all an episode. It was just more like I'm not going to do it. I had to kind of take a firm stance and put my foot down and really like stop myself for real. Because I'm the only one that can stop me, right? And that's something that I definitely had to learn in 2023. Absolutely. So where was I? I digress. Jonathan Majors, yeah. So again, yeah. He physically picked her up and put her in the Escalade. Obviously, I kind of, my perspective, right? If you probably, and based on, we don't know what was going on inside of the vehicle. I feel like if somebody was being physically harmed in the vehicle, right? I don't know, man. He probably shouldn't have picked her up, man. I don't know. That's kind of like I just feel like that hurt him, basically. Like, fam, you picked her up off the ground? That kind of just shows, just where that could have actually went, basically, potentially. And again, I don't know if he actually did that. Like, did he slam her on the ground? We don't know. I don't think so. I just feel like at this point, fam, I was there sitting there like, damn, I gotta clear my name. Like, this is gonna hurt my money, basically. And it did. It definitely did, on a small scale. This shit is taking, like, one way or the other, you're gonna lose somewhere, right? I mean, fortunately for me, I kind of, like I said, I was kind of I kind of got into a situation where, I don't know, my lawyer was she really kind of understood the situation, or she kind of just really understood where I was coming from, or both, right? Because, I mean, realistically, fam, like I said, once again, and I don't want to keep, like, going back and forth between Jonathan Majors' case and my case, but I just feel like, once again, like I said, man, I literally was just right there where he is now. And I just feel like, if he didn't actually do, anything physically to this lady, then why are we... And then it's just like, then Marvel comes out and puts out this announcement. They didn't waste any time. They came right out the day of the verdict to drop the hammer down on Jonathan Majors. They came out with a major announcement, and they announced that Jonathan Majors will be no longer featured in any of basically the future, they canceled everything, fam, is what they did. He had a bunch of different projects slated 10 years out. He had all types of shit in the tuck, fam. And I'm not gonna hold you, like, once again, just as a fam, I just lost money on FanDuel this morning, fam. So, like, I just understand what a loss feels like, and it's just like, bro, when it happens in this kind of, like, this way, to where it's like your hands is tied, and it's kind of like, all right, FanDuel, like, I gambled that. This is one of them situations where it's just like, bro, the bag was there, you earned it, you worked for it, and they just took it away. They just found a way to take the bag away, bro. They just found a way to do it. I'm not really sure what else I want to add to this. I just feel like, we'll just have to kind of, sit back and see how this plays out. What's next for Jonathan Majors? I'm not really sure, if, like, at this point, what I don't want to see, let me be clear about what I don't want to see. And then we'll get off of this. I don't want to see Jonathan Majors on an apology tour. Right? Because, that's a thing they kind of like to do. Have, guys kind of go up there, do all the Today Show and the View and all those little and sit there and kind of basically beg for their job back and all that. We're not here for that. I'm not here for that, and I just hope that's not what the plan is, right? Because I'm thinking to myself, like, when I hear that statement, he's looking forward to clearing his name, I'm not really sure how you do that without begging a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna clear your name, fam? They already put out the statement. We see the verdict. It's kind of like, you gonna go back in the courtroom? Don't go back in there. Don't go back in there. Don't go back in there. And if you have the option to not go back in there, I would suggest for you to not go back in there. That's my stance on the situation. Obviously, I'm very jaded. I've been through a lot this year. You know what I'm saying? My perspective might not be the same as everybody else's as far as the courtroom and just how this shit is fucking rigged, bro. This shit is rigged. I escaped it scot-free, though, but this shit is rigged. And that's a whole fact. Salute to Jonathan Majors. You know, I don't necessarily know, like, what's, Megan Good. I mean, listen, man, you got Megan Good. You kind of, it's not all bad for Jonathan Majors, right? Like, you kind of still got something to, listen, hey, man, she could still go do movies. Like, you could, you know what I mean? Maybe she could get you in they could probably do, like, an independent. I'm sure there's going to be work to be done, is what I'm saying, right? Jonathan Majors is still, I mean, even now more than ever, his name is pretty much known, right, to the masses and shit. You can do a lot with a name that big. Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington. At this point, I'm just going to go through them, right? No order, no nothing. Because like I said, this the end of the year, I couldn't come back after 36 days and not talk about Leon Edwards completely. I mean, if you've seen the fight, you probably understand why I just laughed. I mean, listen, man. Pardon me. This is horrible that I'm potting with COVID right now. I'm potting with COVID. Understand what's happening right now, fam. This might be COVID for real. And I'm really joking, like. But yeah, Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington. I mean, I don't really even. So this is the thing, right? UFC, more specifically, that whole card, and at this point I'm losing count with the UFC. Like, what was that 290? I don't remember. They do too many events at this point. I believe it was 293. Hold on, let me just fact check this, man. Was that 293? 96? That was 296. All right, so 290. God damn, it was just 293 like 2 weeks ago. All right, so 296. UFC 296 main event, Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington, was an absolute shit show. I mean, and there's nothing else to really say about it. It was a shit show. It was a shit show, fam. It was a shit show, and it wasn't a shit show because, at the end of the day, Leon Edwards, he came out there and he did what he had to do, right? And he did what we know him to do, and he did what we expected him to do, more importantly. Right? Follow me here, because that expected is important. The expectation was for Leon Edwards to go out there and do exactly what he did. To be, well, no, actually, wait, let me slow down. Because things changed during fight week. It did. Things took a hard left because what happened was Colby Covington, who, I mean, more or less at this point, basically, talks a lot. He basically talks his way into these fights, and he kind of, because he says so much stupid shit and just has a way of basically being so polarizing or whatever you want to call it, fam. He just says a bunch of dumb shit at this point, fam. Like, he just says shit and it's just like, okay, we clearly see what you're trying to do. There's nothing worse than when you can clearly see somebody trying to do something, right? Sometimes you got to just let it flow out naturally and just chill and relax. You're trying a little bit too hard to do the Conor McGregor and the Floyd Mayweather thing where it's just like, I'm going to talk a lot of shit. But the only difference is, you know what the only difference is? The main difference between what Colby Covington is trying to do versus what those guys actually did was those guys actually went into the ring and backed it up and actually knew how to fight, fam. This was a shit show from start to finish, and it was so crazy because this was like, bro, Leon Edwards was saying this after the fight, like, yo, and I thought the same thing. Like, I'm not even sure, like, is this guy trying to, like, basically play possum with me? That's what it looked like. Like, is he trying to basically trick me into feeling like he can't fight anymore? And then he just explode with something I ain't see coming? Bro, Leon Edwards, Colby Covington came out there. He didn't even know his stance was weird. He didn't have a good fighting stance. He didn't look like an exciting fighter. All of that stuff that we know him to do, they did every fight, they gonna build it up and basically tell you about all of the fighter tendencies and just basically like what they're known to do. The expectation was for Colby Covington, the whole draw was that he was going to come out and make it an exciting fight, basically. He's going to wrestle. He's going to keep coming, pushing the pace, endurance. He never gets tired. Fam, he didn't do any of that. The first round, he came out there. I don't even think he threw a punch. He looked timid. He looked stiff. He looked scared. He was actually scared in there. It was actually crazy. Like, so basically what happened was fight week, I said it took a hard left, and that was because Colby Covington, he said something that was basically just like, it's not even worthy of repeating on a podcast. Like, it was just that low, fam. Like, he said something that just didn't even make sense. It had nothing to do with fighting. I mean, and realistically, fam, he embarrassed himself is what he did. He embarrassed himself, and he embarrassed the sport by coming to and so making a reference to, Leon Edwards' father, basically, who tragically passed away. I wasn't even aware of that, to be honest, until that happened. But apparently, his father was killed or murdered, tragically. Not really sure what the circumstances were, but obviously Colby Covington was aware of it, and he chose to go up there during they have the pressers before every fight week, I'm not really sure which one. Was it the weigh-in? One of the joints, long story short, he basically, spoke on that and in a disrespectful manner. Leon Edwards reacted, threw a water bottle at him. Like, it was actually the first time, like, he basically is known for being a mild-mannered, never really, he actually got into, well, this is the thing, Jorge Masvidal and Leon Edwards definitely, he got into other spats before. My point is this, fam. He lost his cool, he lost his temper. So at that point, it changes kind of like the way you go into the fight and the way you predict how the outcome of the fight is going to go, when you see a fighter lose their composure, that's usually not a good sign, basically, going into the fight, right? Like, if you're not able to kind of keep your composure, you're probably not focused enough. That's kind of just like one of those MMA things, right? Where how they kind of read your body language. And so after that, after Colby Covington was able to get such a reaction out of Leon Edwards, which was basically what he was trying to do, right? Because he's trying so hard to do things. He was trying to get that reaction, right? And he went so low that it was kind of just like, you have to react, right? So Leon Edwards took the bait, whatever the case may be. A couple of people was probably like, a couple of people thought, all right, maybe he's not going to come into this fight that focused. Fast forward, they get into the octagon. Leon Edwards beat the shit out of Colby Covington, fam. It was a flawless victory. It was what it was. He didn't look phased at all, right? From start to finish, his jab was better. He out-wrestled him. He outstruck him. He did everything better than him, right? So he completely dominated the fight. Colby Covington then immediately after the fight, and this is the part that always gets me, like, it's like, fam, you come out, you don't perform. Respectfully, we don't even really want to hear from you at this point. I don't. He really shouldn't even have did a post-fight interview. But he goes and does his post-fight interview and immediately goes into his character again and starts to call out another fighter. Yeah, another fighter. You just got beat by a guy who you made a reference to their deceased father? during fight week, then you come out and you don't perform, you don't apply any pressure. I don't even think he got a point. And your response to that is to immediately go and to call out another fighter and try to promote another potential fight. Colby Covington has no business in any main event ever again on any UFC card, fam. The only way that Colby Covington should ever be in the main event again, fam. And it's just like, even if you win 20 fights in a row, even if, I don't think that we still, like, this is not anything to see after what we just saw, right? You can't really redeem that kind of loss. That's one of those losses where it's just like, okay, like, you put yourself in a situation now where it's just like, fam, how do you get a fan base to be excited about your fight again? I just don't see a scenario where that can happen. I mean, unless you would get Jorge Masvidal back out of retirement, fam. It would have to be somebody who he has like some type of real friction with, right? So where we could actually, like, you know, sell the fight and actually be, I don't know, man. I don't know. Leon Edwards, though, you know, is still, you know, undisputed, you know, lightweight champ, you know what I'm saying? Salute, welterweight champ. Lightweight champ, that's Makhachev right there. And they actually was talking about Leon versus Makhachev. They trying to see now, like, what the next matchup for Leon is. I keep hearing Bilal Muhammad. His name keeps getting thrown in the thing. He was actually the backup fighter for the main event. So more than likely, that's probably going to be the next fight. At this point, what it's looking like is Leon Edwards is going to get ready to, he's just going to dominate the welterweight division at this point. I don't really see any fighter in the welterweight division at this current time that's, you know, a real challenge for him as far as, we'll have to see. Bilal Muhammad, I've been hearing good things. I haven't really seen a lot of Bilal fights, though. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole fact. I don't want to stay on that. That was just basically UFC 296 in a nutshell. There was other fights on the card that was pretty exciting as well. You had Alexander Pantoja, however you pronounce this, Brandon Royval. I actually had money on this. Yeah, I didn't win. You know what I'm saying? I had a couple of the predictions right, but what happens is when you parlay them up and you put them together, all it takes is for that one fighter to not win, and that one fighter was Tony Ferguson, fam, who went in there and got completely dismantled by Paddy. What's boy name? Paddy Pimblett. Paddy Pimblett pummeled Tony Ferguson. I mean, the whole fight. I mean, low-key, I kind of felt like that exactly how the fight played out is what was going to happen, as far as, like, Tony Ferguson not really kind of being there. You know what I'm saying? He lost a few of his last fights. Not just a few. I think he lost his last 8 fights in a row. So at this point, it's kind of just like one of them situations where it's like, all right, fam, what are you still doing here? Dana White is basically advocating for you to retire. So with all of that against him, in my mind, I'm like, all right, the underdog, he might come out with feeling like he got something to prove. You know what I'm saying? So I put my money on Tony Ferguson, but yeah, I lost that buddy real quick. He went in there and he didn't really, you know, he should probably retire. You know what I'm saying? Like Dana White is saying. Shavkat Rahmanov, I can't pronounce the name, but I will be tuned into the next fight. Because he came out there and he, you know, I was really, really impressed with the way he won against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who's been on pretty much, I don't know if it's been a winning streak, but he's been on quite a, you know, he's been building a lot of momentum over his last few fights. I think he is coming off like a 2-fight winning streak, though. But then I think he was hurt or something like that. My point is this, the fight, you know, the card was, you know, a decent card. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really even sure, like, where at this point, Cody, Cody, that was a good fight too. Cody, I can't pronounce his last name, but yeah, he picked up a nice little knockout win. Leon Edwards, Kobe Covington. Yeah, Kobe Covington should probably retire after that, though. That was crazy. I'm not really sure what's going on with Conor McGregor and Tyson, not Tyson Chandler, but whatever that guy's name is, Chandler. They've been promoting that fight for like the same amount of time that this trial has probably been going on with Jonathan Majors, fam. It's been over a good solid year now. Maybe even 2. They've been throwing McGregor Chandler. Are we getting ready to see this fight or not, fam? At this point, it's like you kind of rang that sponge dry right there. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can over promote something. I'm not really sure where we go from there. I guess we get into some. Let's keep it on sports, right? Let's keep it on sports. And as I say sport, let me just take a quick gander at my FanDuel. None of them games coming on till later and all that. Shout out to the Christmas. I'm not gonna hold you. This new NBA is unpredictable, fam. I thought the Christmas Day games was like basically like meant something and shit. You feel me? My nigga, these were some of the worst performances by... Damn, that soccer shit ain't come through? Let me see. Yeah, shout out to FanDuel. I got a couple of... How did this work out? So it was 1, 2, 3. 3 of them, though. Alright. That's crazy. I was that close, huh? Alright, cool. So what we still got? Hold on, let me just check on something real quick. Partner self. Alright, we still got... Okay. I need 8 assists from Ja. No questions asked tonight, bro. Or I'm fucked. Straight up, my nigga. I'm done, bro, if I don't get them 8 assists. Hold on, let me see. I think that's damn near like a guarantee for Ja, though. I'm not gonna hold you. Where's my other one, though? Pardon self. I just gotta make sure that we ain't gotta make some change. Alright, this the one with a... Okay. Nah, but that's still 8 assists, though. This one right here. Alright, cool. I digress. Yeah, so like I said, we gonna get into some NBA news now. What's been going on? A lot's been going on since I've been gone. First things first, we gonna go ahead and air horn for the, the first ever newly crowned Los Angeles Lakers, winning the first ever in-season tournament championship. Is that how you say that? Huh? The in-season world champions? Huh? The preseason warrior? I don't know what is going on as far as like, obviously they trying to make the league more exciting. I get it. They trying to spice things up. You know what I'm saying? $500,000 per player does sound spicy. I must say, fam. I'm not even gonna hold you, fam. I really wish when I'll be trying to get my loads, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we're not going to get back into that. Shout out to FanDuel, right? I might have $500,000 on the line, and a nigga might need 1 point from you. Why are the players not looking at... Do these players not understand that, like... We talk about, like, y'all could literally change the poverty gap that has been literally keeping us from, like, the promised land and shit, fam. There's a lot of money to be made off of FanDuel, bro. And sometimes all I'm saying is this, fam. I might have some shit figured out. That's all I'm saying, fam. I might have a formula that guarantees me. I'm just saying, man. 1 point, 2 points, 20 yards. Odell Beckham is trash. Klay Thompson, let's talk about it, fam. What has been going on in the NBA? I'll tell you what hasn't been going on. Klay Thompson, fam. Klay Thompson. How much points was it yesterday, fam? I needed 19 goddamn points from Klay Thompson, fam. I don't know what's going on with Klay, the Warriors, obviously, Draymond, that whole situation. I feel like my last episode 48, the first 48, Draymond was my cover, you know what I'm saying? Actually, for my last episode, I just felt like, I didn't really think that we would be here again so soon. I must say, I thought we was going to get another Draymond incident maybe sometime after the All-Star game or something. Right about the, playoffs. That's when he kind of started acting up, trying to really end people's careers. But Draymond Green definitely got himself into another situation. This time it was with, Yusuf Nurkic. At this point, we've all kind of seen that footage. There's no need to really harp on this. We were just talking about, the MMA, and Kobe Covington. I'm not really sure. Maybe Kobe Covington needed to try that move right there, fam. I don't know what Draymond is doing out there on the NBA court. That was crazy, fam. To try to, play it off like that is the crazy part, right? You clearly wanted to just punch this, You really wanted to punch him in the face, fam. You might as well have just got your shit off, fam. You spun and I'm not really sure what to call that. But, at the end of the day, Yusuf Nurkic, he went down. And at the end of the day, fam, was it even that hard, for him to go down the way he did? I don't think so. But the point is this, fam. Draymond need help at this point, is what everybody else is saying, right? They saying he needs help. Obviously, he took some time off now. I'm not really sure, did they give him an actual... Oh, no, they suspended him, but they did it indefinitely, right? They didn't want the focus to be on the amount of games that he wasn't, and yeah, all that's going on right now. So needless to say, the Warriors they ain't really, they kind of don't have their full team at the end of the day, right? They still got Andrew Wiggins though, and I'm not gonna lie to you, fam. I'm not really sure why he wasn't on my parlay yesterday, but god damn, fam. Andrew Wiggins is literally, I'm watching him literally carry the Warriors on his back yesterday, fam. The shit he was doing in that fourth quarter, Steph Curry, what more can I say, man? What more can I say? It is literally only when I choose to put money on Steph is when Steph don't want to show up to the game, bro. I'm not really sure. He had, first of all, the first quarter, I never want to see 0 points in a first quarter from a player of your caliber, fam. You have the ability to catch and shoot from anywhere on the goddamn NBA floor. Why do you have 0 points in a whole quarter? It's 12 minutes, right? I digress. So clearly, I say all that to say this. The Warriors are going to have to figure some things out, fam. And they will not be on any of my parlays until further notice, fam. I'm suspending the Warriors indefinitely from my parlays. No more Warriors. I can't believe Clay didn't get 19 points yesterday, bro. I just knew this was a lock. He been kind of trying to get his groove back. They've been talking crazy, the contract, all of this shit. And you can't give me 20 goddamn points? I had to take his order. I got an autograph on a Gatorade bottle from Clay, right? I actually met Klay Thompson, which is crazy, right? I hate for it to be my guy. Because we actually met and he was cool. Got the autograph. I had to take that down, fam. I don't even want that near me right now, fam. It's bad energy right now. It's bad energy. It's bad energy on the Warriors. It's bad energy. I don't know if... So I wrote down a few names here, right? And I don't even necessarily want to talk about half of this shit as I'm looking at it now. Zion Williamson, Anthony Edwards, baby mama drama. That's not really my bag. Anthony Edwards needs to slow down for sure though. From what I heard, that story was, it doesn't sound, I get it too though. You young, you coming into a bunch of money for the first time. Zion out of shape. Damn, hold on. God damn, bro. As far as Zion Williamson being out of NBA shape, I just feel like, this is kind of basically what we seen right before the draft. This was kind of basically the one thing that people were basically saying, myself included, fam, if he kind of figures out, well, the real thing for me was injuries, right? I was just kind of more he needs to lose weight because, the way he plays the game, it's probably going to be better for him to not be so much weight on his knees or whatever the case may be. So I was thinking more injury prone. But at this point, obviously, that it's starting to become more of an issue to, the team. And, they kind of concerned about his conditioning and all this stuff. I just feel like at his age, he's going to be able to figure that out at some point, right? You got to just, get him in the environment where he's going to be willing to want to figure it out. And right now, it doesn't seem like that environment is in New Orleans. Zion wants to come to New York. And that's really just what it comes down to. I think that Zion is trying to eat his way out of New Orleans, fam. Understand what I'm saying? We've been hearing for how many? Come on, we've been hearing the chatters and I feel like he did a couple podcasts even where he basically went on there and flat out said, like, I want to go to New York. I want to go to the Knicks. Like, I want to leave New Orleans and go to the Knicks. So I'm just saying, like, let's just give him some time to figure out himself. He got to figure him out, right? He got to figure him out. Then he got to figure out the NBA and just like how to like balance, like, you know what I'm saying, having a bunch of money and basically being in a city where there's a bunch of great food, right? In New Orleans, that's another thing. You got him in a city where they got some of the best platters and shit, bro. Like, that's going to be hard. That's going to be hard for anybody, right? You could be broke and you're going to still be out there trying to, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like maybe he needs to get traded at this point is what I'm saying. And realistically, fam, do we see a scenario where Zion Williamson and Brandon Abrams go to an NBA Finals? I don't, personally. I just feel like they kind of are like similar players to a certain degree as far as like their tendencies and like they attack and score, and you don't really need them together for real is what I'm saying. You might need to break that up, and let's just get Zion where Zion is going to be Zion. And it doesn't seem like New Orleans is where it is right now. I'm not really sure why nobody's, you know what I'm saying? They just going to go straight to his stomach and Stephen A. And they've been relentless. They have been relentless, Then at the same time, when it comes to that, like, I mean, as far as Shaq and I believe, who was it, Charles Barkley? I mean, though, these are guys who actually played the game and kind of dealt with the same exact situation. You might want to take heed to what they're saying, personally, And maybe they could, like, go about it a different way as far as, like, maybe you don't want to just, you going on the fucking airwaves to basically embarrass and humiliate me and shit in front of all of these. Like, I got family watching this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he has to hear some of that stuff back, like at Thanksgiving and different events and shit. The NBA in-season tournament championships. Yeah, we got to that. Bron is definitely the GOAT. I've been saying it for quite some time now. At this point, I just feel like he just added another trophy on the mantle that nobody else can add. I mean, what more could be said? You got Bronny. Come on, y'all seen that chase down the other day. Like, we still waiting to see Bronny throw the lob or vice versa. Bron throw the lob to Bronny. It's gonna happen. And at that point, he already the GOAT. He's already the GOAT. But I mean, fam, if we actually get to see LeBron James and Bronny on the same team playing, if they win a championship together, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Now we talking about just he's the greatest in every sport. Right? Fuck basketball. He's doing shit we've never seen. You know what I'm saying? We have to acknowledge this. The Warriors is definitely in jeopardy. I don't really have much else on the NBA at this point. Where Giannis went after he chased the Indiana Pacers into the locker room. Giannis got to chill out. I'm not gonna hold you, fam. It's like, fam, like, do you want to, like... I'm not gonna hold you. Giannis does look like he could have fought MMA, though. Like, he actually could have probably did some damage in the MMA. He definitely chased the Indiana Pacers to the locker room the other day for the game ball. You know what I'm saying? I forgot what exactly the stat line was for Dame, but he definitely made it clear that that game ball was his. And he went to go get that shit. That nigga was not scared, bro. The whole locker room. He went to their tunnel, I think. Right? He went right to their tunnel. Like, no, this is Dame's ball. Oh, shit. Okay. They gave it up, too. But then there was a whole thing, like, they wasn't sure if it was a different ball and whatever the case may be. I think that's all I got for the NBA right now. The Warriors, the dynasty is over. I want to just officially come on record and say that it's a wrap. I don't care if Steph drops 70 tomorrow, bro. I don't care, bro. The Warriors as a team, as a whole, as a dynasty, as a record label, as a staff, as a crew, whatever you want to, it is a wrap. Steve Kerr might need to go too at this point, because I feel like Steve Kerr, low-key, he over there, like, he might be, what his stomach look like? You feel me? He over there chilling. Like, he done won all them championships. He probably don't really feel the same motivation to get up and coach like he did when he first got to a team that Mark Jackson built for him. You know what I'm saying? Right. Enough said. Shout out to Mark Jackson and the It Is What It Is podcast, because I believe he recently just partnered up with Cam and Mace. You know, air horn for that. Absolutely. Cam and Mace out here making noise. I'm not even gonna hold you. Salute to Cam and Mace. Salute to all of the podcasters that, you know, 2023. I feel like 2023 was a big year for podcasters. You know, we seen a lot of podcasts come on the scene, and right out the gate, when I seen that first episode, It Is What It Is podcast with Cam and Mace, I said right off top that they's getting ready to come in and clean up. You feel me? I didn't know it was gonna be this fast. Like, at this point, they might be past Undisputed on Fox right now, type shit, as far as the numbers is concerned. Like, they really moving out here. So salute to Cam and Mace, Mark Jackson for partnering up. Salute to me for losing my voice mid-episode, for me coming on here to pod with the flu, with COVID, put my life on the line and shit. I'm definitely going to have to disinfect my mic. This is definitely my first, you know what I'm saying? I hate for it to be a flu game. My first episode with this shit. New microphone. I got a whole virus. But it's cool though. It's 5 more days left in 2023. You know what I'm saying? 2023 has definitely been a memorable year, to say the least. Man, the peaks, the valleys, the wins, the losses. I feel like that's what the year is, though. You know, it's kind of just like, you know what I'm saying? Wins and losses. You know what I'm saying? Is Jeannie Mae out for revenge against Jeezy? I don't know. I've been hearing some things, man. And I don't know, man. I just feel like it just seems like ever since Jeezy sat down with Nia Long and did that interview, that sit-down interview, probably one of the greatest interviews we've seen, low-key, 2023 for sure. That was like a top 5 interview of 2023, the Nia Long and Jeezy interview. I don't know, man. I just feel like ever since that, though, I feel like Jeannie Mae kind of just been on like her, you know, on her like revenge tour shit, basically, where it's kind of like, now I'm seeing different articles coming out where she basically, what was the latest one I seen where she basically, and it's kind of just, you know, I don't like to really even, it's kind of hard to really even believe what you're reading when you see those things, like, because it's just like when you see an article, my first question always is like, when did this interview take place? When and where, right? Because obviously we're in a day and age where everything is digital now, right? So like 9 times out of 10, and then there are some instances where, yeah, you might just see the article before you see the actual video, right? So maybe there might be a video, and maybe I'm just not that invested in Jeannie Mae, quite frankly. But apparently there was some interview, some sit down, some conversation where she kind of was alluding to the fact that young Jeezy, well, the first story I seen was, well, she basically kind of was trying to like clear her name, you know, similar to like how Jonathan Majors is trying to clear his name, like, and try to like regain his reputation, if you will. She was kind of trying to clear her name and get her reputation back, as far as like, I'm not no like, whatever the narrative was, you know, based off of what I got from that interview, like, I'm here to like clean all that up. And she basically putting out different reports about Jeezy may or not, you know, he may or may not have been like a safe partner, quote unquote, because of his, you know, he keeps weapons in the house or something along the lines. Basically, like, he has guns, a black man with guns. Now all of a sudden he got guns. He dangerous. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing some other shit where she basically was like how he was a cheater and a manipulator. Like, you know, once again, those narratives, those words, those phrases, and the way they can kind of just be, thrown out there and kind of just be pinned on certain people's character. All I'm saying is this, man. Jeezy might have a long 2024 in and out of the courtroom, fam, if he don't, pick up the phone and probably call Jeannie Mae and maybe they need to have a conversation is what I'm saying. Before things get, because I could see a scenario where Jeannie Mae, enough said, fam. She just looks like she's fully willing and prepared to go and sit in a courtroom for years to get everything and take everything from you on some revenge shit. You know what I'm saying? She just has that kind of revenge look in her eyes, fam. And you got to be real careful when you're dealing with, it's giving me thin line between love and hate vibes is basically what I'm trying to say, right? That's what I'm basically trying to get to. She's giving me that type of vibe right there. And we all seen how that movie ended, right? Jeezy might need to call Jeannie Mae before 2023 ends. You know what I'm saying? You might, you know what I'm saying? Might want to pick up that phone. Nia Long, speaking of Nia Long, definitely linked up with Cameron. I don't necessarily know if you could call this a link up though. Cause it ain't like she came to the It Is What It Is podcast. She ain't come to like see Cameron somewhere, or it wasn't like they was on a date somewhere. What had happened was, what's boy name over there with LeBron? What's boy name? This thing is like a mogul, business mogul and shit. Just put out a book too. How do I not know? It's gonna come to me. But it was basically a whole party and an event that was thrown on behalf of, what is LeBron's agent's name? And I don't know why I'm drawing this blank right now. But LeBron's agent, I could literally just Google this, but I don't want to. Why can't I remember this? And why is my iTunes open, fam? I didn't open this. I'm wondering why I'm looking at this shit on the top buffering. I'm like, hold on. But, yo, bro, Maverick fucking Carter, fam. Maverick Carter recently had a, birthday celebration. Nia Long was there. Cameron was there. I'm not really sure what, how that ended up, basically, if that was done on purpose or whatever the case may be. All I know is this, fam. Cameron got to, he actually got to meet and greet Nia Long, right? And we're not really sure if it's going to go any further than that. Because based on the look, based on what I seen in that photo, there's a good chance that we don't know, though. And we never, she definitely put a post up right after that and said she was outside. So I don't know, fam. Maybe Cam got in her ear and said some slick Harlem shit. And she probably on a different type of time now is what I'm saying, right? Maybe the It Is What It Is podcast is really doing numbers out here more than I even think, is what I'm saying, right? And maybe Nia Long is aware. So we don't really know how that's going to play out. I don't really think it's going to go any further than that, though. The fact that he was able to get that picture off, though, is like, that's the win within itself, right? Like, nigga, I can at least say I met her, and now we can leave it open for interpretation. We don't really know what happened. We just know that we linked up. The photo's there. It's going to live on the internet forever. You know what I'm saying? And Nia Long is looking amazing, by the way. She really is. And I know that, what's boy name over there? I definitely forgot his name. Ime Udoka. No wonder he over there trying to fight Braun. He over there going through it, fam. I know he's feeling that. Like, to see her in a picture with Cameron, like, that's crazy. And I'm pretty sure at some point, Cam and Mace, they're going to have to talk about your team. You know what I'm saying? They cover sports, right? I'm just pretty sure that Ime, he's probably not going to be... It was just the anniversary for when the Cameron's, Purple Haze? I'm pretty sure that Ime Udoka is not... That's probably not on his Apple year-end wrap-up. That probably didn't make his list. None of Cameron shit probably made his list, right? Is all I'm saying, right? That nigga probably despises Cam after that, right? He might not, though. He might actually fuck with Cam. We don't know. He looked like he on timing when he pulled up. Brown pulled up on him. He might listen to Dipset, is what I'm saying. Trump removed from the ballot in Colorado. At this point, I'm kind of just like, I'm just throwing it out there. You feel me? I don't even have no order to this. I don't really care about this in particular, though. I just threw it down there because I wasn't really sure if I was going to need some filler or not. At this point, I'm an hour and 22 minutes in. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even really scratch the surface on what I really wanted to get off. It's just I don't know, man. 2023, man, it's a wrap. 2024 MAMBA year approaching. You know, I basically had so many different, it's not even I had one, there's no one plan in place. I have so many different things that I'm trying to implement, and realistically, fam, I really need to my New Year's resolution, if I have one, is I probably need to slow down so I can actually execute more. I feel oftentimes what we do is we try to pile ourselves up with more and more. We need to do more. We got to get this done, do this done. But realistically, fam, if you're trying to do too much, if you're not taking the time to actually execute and, strategize and, kind of do one thing, just get one thing done at a time, fam. Just get it done. That's it. Just get it done. Get everything and anything done. That's always the resolution. That's my everyday resolution. Realistically, but that's definitely obviously MAMBA mentality, being that this is MAMBA year, I just feel now more than ever this fourth quarter, I definitely dedicated, to Kobe. I feel MAMBA mentality was definitely if I didn't really have that as a blueprint, and realistically, I don't want to make it seem like it's not, but it really is, though. It is profound. It is profound. And then even times where, I can't tell you how many times I'm out and about and, certain things, I might be even in a moment of, doubt where I'm all right, I might not be so sure about a certain situation, and the Kobe clip will just come on my phone right away, fam, to just wake my ass up yeah, nah, you know what? I'm on the right track. Let me go harder now, type shit. You feel me? So yeah, absolutely. MAMBA mentality, MAMBA year, we definitely want to approach 2024 with that same vigor that we know Kobe would have been out here, Kobe would have been out here cleaning up, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. He would have been having a lot of Wemby would have had to he would have had Wemby in the post, my nigga, right now. That's a whole fact. He would have had Wemby in the gym. He would have probably came back to the NBA for Wemby. I just feel Kobe would have been out here doing so much. Yeah. Offset and Cardi, I don't really necessarily have anything to say about that. I wrote that down too. But yeah, it is what it is. Offset and Cardi apparently broke up again or got divorced or I don't know. Whatever the fuck. Are they even really married at this point? I'm just saying, how many times do you break up with your husband? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of just at some point, this is there's legalities that need to be involved with this. And I just don't think that they're trying to really go through all of that. You feel me? Nicki Minaj dropped Pink Friday 2. Was it this past Friday or last Friday? Whatever the case may be, Pink Friday 2 is out now on all DSPs. I just feel I ain't really obviously this the thing, right? This ain't really Pink Friday 2 is clearly not an album that's, made for my ear. So I'm already knowing this going into it, right? But I will say, I listened to it once and a half-ish, maybe. A couple of songs I played back, that I heard on there, whatever the case may be. I didn't really have a real full listening session with the album. But based on what I heard, I will say that this does sound if it's not her best project, it's probably definitely her most well-rounded project, right? And that's important because at the end of the day, I was just on here. As a matter of fact, was that episode 48, fam? My last episode, 36 days ago, where I basically spoke on, I could literally just flip the page back on the docket and confirm that actually. Hold on. Because I know for a fact, Soulja Boy, J. Cole. Okay, so that wasn't 48 then. No. That might have been 47, pardon. So that was definitely 47. So, alright. 2 episodes back, right? I say all that to say this, man. I low-key kind of was basically waving the flag of just basically like, yo, Nicki Minaj, I just feel like there's so much more potential for basically what she has to offer and everything that, you know, her skill set and, you know, I just feel like there's more there. There's more left in the tank and there's more for her to do. I just feel like this is the album that low-key I heard when I was saying all that stuff. You don't really quite know exactly what, you know, something's going to sound like before you hear it, obviously, right? So I say all that to say this, even though it's not an album that I'm probably going to be having on repeat or whatever the case may be, I will acknowledge the fact that she did something that I feel like she probably needed to do. This is something that she needed to do. Her fan base needed, in my opinion, this well-rounded body of work where it's kind of like, all right, different sounding, different, you know what I'm saying? She got different features on there, you know what I'm saying? You got Drake on there, obviously Young Money, we expected that. Wayne, she got Uzi on there, that's kind of one of the joints that's going crazy right now, you know? It's like a little go-go kind of offbeat, one of them offbeat joints. What they call it? There's another word for it. It's not slipping me right now. But that's kind of like the new sound, basically, right? This offbeat, kind of the up-tempo, just the hype record type shit, right? J. Cole's on the album. So on episode 47, I definitely spoke about J. Cole and Soulja Boy at the time. You know, Soulja Boy basically was talking kind of crazy, fam. And I had to just come on here and clear some things up. Like, fam, why? I didn't really understand. I had questions. And Nicki had questions. Because Nicki went on the live and she basically was, you know, she kind of was checking Soulja Boy like, yo, fam, why are you even... That's not what he on over there. And in my mind, I said to myself, this might be the perfect opportunity for Nicki and J. Cole collab. I actually said this. I actually said, no. I predicted this, fam. We just gonna call a spade a spade. I said that Nicki, low-key, I feel like she wanted to collab with J. Cole because she probably low-key listens to J. Cole and she probably respects what he's able to do as a lyricist and the fact that obviously, and then basically from what I'm hearing in certain interviews that she's been doing recently, is that 9 times out of 9, and I was dead smacked on, she doesn't go home to listen to her own songs, fam. Like, so all of that Barbie shit that she's doing it for her fan base. But realistically, fam, she goes home and she probably listens to things that are more along the lines of like what J. Cole is doing, right? Because I'm sure she wants to do that. And that's exactly what I said. And lo and behold, we got a J. Cole and Nicki. And it's J. Cole and Nicki on some introspective kind of... It's literally exactly what I thought it would be, right? It ain't really what it could have been, but it's what I thought it would be for sure, right? The whole album, like, I literally I predicted this goddamn album, fam. I A&R'd Pink Friday 2 in my mind, is what I did, fam. Facts. Somehow I was able to kind of see this coming, like, I don't know, I did. So... It's out now. I didn't really, like I said, I don't really have any, like, standouts that, like, I mean, Red Ruby the Sleeves is the best track on there. I can say that. As far as the whole body of work, though, I feel like I'm just kind of happy for Nicki at this point. At this point in her career, like I said, you know, in all seriousness, too, like, she did need one of those albums where it's kind of like, yeah, like, this is, like, I feel like this is her attempt at it. Now, I do still feel like there's potential for, like, something more. Like, it's kind of like you kind of right there with it, but it's not quite there all the way. Like, she's due for, like, one of the... What's the album? Like, what can I reference? What am I actually even, like, going for here? Is it 444? Like, the 444 kind of... Just, like, you want some, like, you know what I'm saying? Really, really just keeping it all the way... I don't know, man. I just feel like Nicki is clearly talented. You know, she definitely did a lot more singing on this, which is also something that I definitely was calling for. I feel like her singing voice she's obviously not a singer, right? She's not like a pure singer. But what I'm saying is I feel like with her voice and her sound, there's certain things that she can do on the singing tip that them other rapper chicks can't do. You feel me? And she displays that on Red Ruby the Sleeves. You know what I'm saying? Like that Nicki right there, that's like her at her best on Red Ruby the Sleeves, right? It's everything. It's a smorgasbord of just like every sound. It's all there, right? So really, I just wanted to salute Nicki, man. Pink Friday 2 is out. It's probably not going to be the album of the year. It's not going to be my album of the year. But it's definitely, you know, this was an album that was big for her career. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say that. But yeah, I just wanted to salute Nicki for that, man. Pink Friday 2 is out. Unfortunately, you know, I feel like shit. I feel like it was just a week ago. She was on A&P. I know the Barbs they would have been on there going crazy on A&P. You wouldn't have been able to get a Kendrick song off right now, fam. Every goddamn show right now, I already know. It would have been a Barbie shutdown on A&P, fam, for Pink Friday 2, fam. All them goddamn songs would have been getting streamed all day. I don't know if Cardi B and Offset, like I said, once again, Cardi B, she came on Instagram. She was really emotional. I feel like we've seen this same exact rant from her verbatim. At this point, I do feel like marriage counseling is a thing. I just feel like if you have issues with your partner, your significant other, you know, somebody who you're not only emotionally and, you know, spiritually attached to, but at this point, you're legally and financially attached to, right? You probably got to go sit down with somebody at this point to sort that all out, fam. I just don't feel like going the IG live route. And this is coming from somebody, I've never done an IG live in my life, right? I just personally don't see what the point of that is. Like, I'm not trying to... Like, you gotta pay me. Like, this is not a sitcom, fam. Why am I giving you live content? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, yeah, absolutely. At some point, I'm gonna have to, you know what I'm saying, see what's going on there, right? If I really want to grow my brand and all that stuff, right? That's all part of playing the game. Noted. But I'm gonna come on there and it's gonna be a movie. You feel me? Is what I'm saying. I'm not gonna be on there just crying and telling people about my personal, like, you know what I'm saying, my latest failure in life and shit. That's just not what the IG live is for. And I just feel like at this point they're gonna have to sit down with some type of counselor, some type of, you know, guidance counselor or something. You know what I'm saying? Marriage guidance counselor, fam, to sort they shit out. Because I don't know why you would even want to come on IG Live. Apparently, coming to the internet kind of is the new wave, right? I feel like it's not nothing even really new, actually. You know, 2:24 on the dot. I just want to take this time to say MAMBA forever, Gigi. Yeah, MAMBA year is approaching 2024. What more is in store? Yeah. So, like I said, man, I kind of been, I needed to take a break, man. I just needed to take a break, you know, coming on here, talking into this microphone to discuss, disseminate, divulge information, talking about all these different things. I feel like you know, just, you carry some of that energy with you. And I feel like if you're a podcaster, you understand what I'm talking about, man. It's at a certain point, you kind of got to hit that reset button and flush all of that out and get right back to it. But then when you get right back to it, you quickly realize that, number one, that I'm really him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really him. You feel me? I really just gave y'all a podcast off the dome with COVID. You know what I'm saying? I'm really him. You feel me? Case dismissed. You know what I'm saying? I really could be in a cell right now. We're not going to even talk about how this whole fourth quarter for me could have been a whole different scenario, right? Like, they really put me in a cell, shackled me up, had me in there. You know what I'm saying? I was in there holding it the fuck down, of course, because I'm me. You feel me? I'm standing in there, we talking about the justice system and shit. I'm breaking it down. I'm like, yo, bro, I gotta understand something though, man. I was saying some profound shit in there. Like, I don't really remember everything we was talking about. But I just feel like I said, man, everything happens for a reason. You kind of just got to take the time to figure out what those reasons are. And, part of me taking this 36 days, I didn't plan on it being 36 days, by the way. I'm saying 36 days, like, it wasn't a plan for it to be 36 days. That's just what it was, right? I could have really gave y'all this pod 2 weeks ago, right? 3 weeks ago. Yesterday, all type of shit, right? And this is the E.B.C.G podcast 2023 New Year wrap-up show. Like I said, man, I started this thing the end of 2022. I didn't really even anticipate, kind of going for as long as I did. I could have been better. I could have been worse. Definitely see the areas where I could improve. Then I also definitely feel like if I don't drop another episode, I gave y'all something that I just feel like can't really be replaced. I listened back to my catalog. Like I said, you feel me? And I'm not gonna lie. I'm definitely intrigued. I'm intrigued. Cause I don't know what's getting ready to happen. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, man, episode 49, season 3, we getting ready to kick this thing off. 2023 is a wrap. I definitely was avoiding the elephant on my docket, though. And if y'all thought I was going to get into this surviving Diddy situation before we wrapped up the 2023, low-key, I needed to... This probably is the real reason why I took that break. Like, I needed 36 days to really, get into this right here. Because I'm not going to hold you. It's a lot to get into. So this is the thing, right? Or not. Maybe I take the high road and say, you know what, man? Prayers and condolences for everybody involved. Hopefully everybody kind of figures out a path to kind of get out of the darkness. This is the thing, right? That's not what I'm going to say. What I'm going to say is I definitely do want to say prayers and condolences, Or what I really like to say is peace, love, and prosperity to every and anybody that's out there that's going through a tough time, tough situation, having a hard time really seeing it through. You might be stuck on something that, is kind of keeping your vision, keeping you hindered from seeing past that current situation. But just know that it can and it will get greater later as long as you take the time to, kind of push through whatever that obstacle is that's currently placed in front of you, right? God gonna meet you halfway. And when I say certain shit, just be it's not even really a question. You can clearly see. I'm speaking for myself here. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point, if you actually put the time and the effort in to do some shit, realistically, fam, it's not gonna always be easy. And that's the part that most people usually that's usually where we fall short. When it starts to become more of a challenge, it's not easy no more. I can't do it. Why? Because it's not easy anymore? Just because it's not easy anymore, that doesn't mean you can't do it. That just means you got to put more time in. You just got to put more, you know what I'm saying? You just got to wake up earlier now. That alarm clock, you got to set it. You might not even have to set it at a certain point. You already, your mind is so, you programmed for the greatness. You done programmed yourself for this shit. You don't even need to set the alarm clock. You waking up right on time and you getting from point A to point B. I digress. It's been that kind of year, though. That's exactly what this year has been in a nutshell for me. It's just getting up every day, getting from point A to point B. I say all that to say this, though. Diddy, Puffy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs. We just gonna call him Sean Combs for right now, right? He's a man with many different names, different monikers, but right now we need to just address him as Sean Combs. So obviously there's been a whole lot of accusations, man. A lot of dark, accusations, and they're coming from different people. Obviously Cassie initially was, the the first person to kind of come out and, you know, kind of lead that rally as far as, you know, with Diddy in particular. Now, this is the thing. My standpoint with this is that I'm never here to defend anybody, right, that I don't know. I don't know Diddy. I don't want to know Diddy. The music was great. I mean, and that's kind of just where my confliction comes. That's the only thing that I'm really invested in here is the music, right? And I'm just keeping it all the way 1,000. I don't know Diddy. You feel me? I've never met Diddy, and based on everything that I've heard, I wouldn't want to meet Diddy, right? I'm just keeping it all the way 1,000, fam. I seen you sit across from Fab and say, yo, we didn't party, fam. What did you mean by that, bro? Like, that's disturbing to me. That might be the most disturbing clip of all of them. They talking about all these different accusations, fam. I'm still stuck on that right there, fam. What do you mean by we didn't party? I digress. And Fab was mad uncomfortable, which made me even more uncomfortable. Seeing Fab uncomfortable, right? Because Fab is like, you usually see Fab smooth, laid back, chilling. So when Fab look uncomfortable, there's a good chance that something weird is happening, right? So that was just weird, threw me off. Cool. I've always had a certain like kind of like thing with Diddy where it was kind of like I said once again, the music. I enjoy the music, and that's kind of as far as I go with that. You understand what I'm saying? Obviously, we've heard different stories over the years. I feel like just recently, the most recent, before all of this surviving Diddy stuff started happening and all of these different females started to come out, and Cassie, it was just Tupac. It was just Tupac a couple of weeks ago, right? Which kind of does make me feel like, I don't know, it's like, damn, it does seem like, I don't know, like just the timing, like, all right, why is it, I don't know, man, why is it just that all of these different things are starting to come to the light right now in this very moment now, right? So they was just talking about how he had something to do with the murder of Tupac. That didn't really, nothing kind of transpired from that. Fast forward, we get to this point. Cassie comes out and, she makes the accusations that she made. I feel like I spoke about this briefly on my last episode. We don't really need to get into the details of what was being said, but obviously it was some real dark shit. At that point, Diddy quickly settles, the lawsuit with Cassie, which had people kind of, obviously the obvious thing at that point is like, whoa, hold on, wait a minute, though. Why are you so quick to settle, though? Are you settling this fast because the accusations may hold some weight to them or whatever the case may be? Listen, man, I'm not a psychic, but at the end of the day, I would assume that, it's safe to assume that there may be some truth to what was being said for somebody to go and just settle that fast. I just told y'all they offered me 2, not 1, but 2 plea offers, fam. I said no to both of them shits, not even sure of how fucked up that could have really turned out for me. And fortunately for me, it didn't go left like it could have, you know what I'm saying? But obviously there's a lot of different people who can't say the same thing. And it's a lot of different ways that you could get jammed up. And I say all that to say this, we don't really know what didn't happen, basically. I can't even talk at this point. I'm losing it. We don't really know. We can't really speak to any of the accusations and the details in the accusations, but what we do know is that the optics don't look good at this point, because then you have more people that came out, right? More individuals spoke out, so many different accusations. And right now, Diddy, he just gonna have to just, he gonna have to just get low, man. He gonna have to get low, and he gonna have to stay low. He might have to stay low Shit, he might even have to go and link J-Lo. All I'm saying is this. It is quiet. Revolt. He stepped down from Revolt. He's stepping down from all of the, we've seen this movie before. It's kind of like, all right, here come the storm of accusations. You got to step down now. We already know how this goes. We don't want to bring any of the negativity to to what we got going on as far as business wise. But then I also just seen that he just was, with his family during over the holidays, celebrating. So, he didn't seem like he did seem to be in good spirits from what the photo shows. Obviously we can never really tell what somebody's going through, because there were some other photos before that where it was showing another side where he didn't look like he was dealing with this stuff too. You know what I mean? So, this is one of those tricky things where it's kind of like you kind of just got to sit back and wait to see how this plays out. Obviously, based on what we've seen with the Meg and Tory situation, which obviously that's also something that I didn't even have that on my docket, but I did definitely catch wind of the fact that, apparently there's some new details in that case, right? And Tory Lanez has been sitting in prison, and now I don't know why. Now all of a sudden reports are coming out that, and it's just like, at this point, fam, I don't know what to believe, bro. No fingerprints or no traces of DNA were on the gun, and now different stories are being told, and now it's seeming like it's a whole nother thing, right? So it's kind of like, yeah, you can be locked up. You can be sent to prison off of a narrative. And it's almost kind of like, let's figure that out first, then figure out what happened second type shit. Like, we gonna put your ass in prison first. Then we'll kind of listen and hear and gather information to see if this shit really happened or not, which is crazy, right? So we're going to see. If I don't really know how that's going to play out. Diddy obviously hasn't been placed in prison yet. But based on, what I'm saying, it certainly seems like somebody wants him there. He killed Tupac and he did this shit to Cassie and all these other women. All this coming out now. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really sure what's getting ready to happen. As far as me, do I believe that this is possible? Obviously, I mean, anything is possible, right? I mean, anything's possible with a bunch of money in a mansion, with fucking a bunch of Ciroc and shit. Anything is possible. I can't act like I can't see a scenario where Diddy might be unhinged. We've seen him. I just told you what I seen with Fab. I seen that right there. I seen him dressed up as the Joker. The Joker shit was crazy. Like, that right there is definitely... He better hope they don't get that in the courtroom. If they get that footage in there, he's done, bro. Because that was... You can't be dressed up as the Joker acting like that and expect for people to not have accusations on you. You know what I'm saying? Even if you never did anything, you could be the most scot-clean motherfucker in the world, bro. You, like, look at this... We have so many things where we could... I don't know, man. Making the Band 2 was dope, though. I will say that. So that's kind of just where I'm at with it. Like, the creative versus the man and shit. The man might be fucked up. But that creative, though. Can we just get... Like, are we going to just be able to cancel Diddy? Are we getting ready? Is that what we doing? Because I'm still playing MJ. Y'all didn't get me on that. The R. Kelly shit, y'all kind of got that with me. All right, cool. I'll let that go. And realistically, I was never really a big fan, to be honest, right? R. Kelly shit is like, you gotta appreciate that at like a cookout. It's like only certain environments that I could really appreciate some of those R. Kelly. Then the other ones, I don't ever want to hear them, ever. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of just like, all right, MJ not going nowhere though. Diddy's gonna be tough. Diddy's gonna be tough. I say all that to say this. That's gonna be tough right there. Like, I've even been trying to like preview certain my playlist without like playing Diddy and shit. Like, it's not fun. You know what I'm saying? It changes things. It does. You gotta be real slick and strategic on how you transition. I don't like doing that. I don't like doing that, man. Especially when it comes to great music. I think we ended there. I think we ended on Diddy, on surviving Diddy, and him being potentially, sent to prison for being a pedophile and all types of other things, bro. We don't really know what the accusations are, though, to be honest. I don't. You feel me? I never really get too deep into the accusations, themselves, because it's just kind of like, fam, I'm always kind of I usually go to, where was this, like, why are you waiting till now, basically, to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like when it comes to certain things, You can't hold that off for 20 years and it does just seem like a money grab at a certain point. Because if Diddy was dead broke right now, I don't know. I just don't know. Would these things even be? Come on, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know this though. This episode is a wrap. This year is a wrap. This is definitely going to be the last episode of the year. Yeah. I can't promise that either. I took 36 days off. There's no telling when I might spin the block on y'all. Let me just be clear on that. Right? Because I might, you know what I'm saying? We might have to do a New Year's special. Do I need to go to I'm definitely not. I was getting ready to say something blasphemous. I'm never going to the Times Square, the New Year's Eve celebration. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Let me see how much degrees it's going to be, though. If we get a 50-degree day, I might slide, nigga. Hold up. Let me see, Sean. It might be. Nah, it ain't. It's not going to be cold either, though. That's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother time. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Everybody Can't Go podcast 2023. New Year's Eve, New Year beginning, whatever you want to call it, depending on what time you stumble on this. Because at the end of the day, you might watch this shit. You might catch this January something. You feel me? Your fourth quarter might be you probably still trying to figure some things out. Your shit might still be in shambles, is what I'm saying, right? You scrambling, trying to get that bill paid still. Come on, man. Get that bill paid. You know what I'm saying? Get everything you need to get yourself where you need to go. You understand what I'm saying? Episode 49. E.B.C.G. I came back right on time. I saw, I conquered. 2023 was truly a year to remember indeed. I feel like, yeah, man. I feel like we only just getting started. Like I said, stay tuned, keep it locked. E.B.C.G. podcast. Next stop to the top. Let's get it. I made it. Nigga, I made it. I made it. They hate it. Cause I made it. They cannot fade it. I made it. Nigga, I made it. I am the greatest. I feel like the greatest ever. I'm too clever. Ain't nobody doing it like me. I'm made by the one-on-one. I'm the GOAT. All these fucking quotes. All these words I spoke. All this weed I tote. Look. I started with no plan, nigga. I'm still that fucking man, nigga. Episode 1, I gave y'all that SoundCloud. I paid for that. Niggas came back. Nigga, I'm brave for that. Invested in myself. I did this shit. I kept my health. I did this shit. I swear I did this shit myself. You can't tell me nothing. I swear I got the fucking belt. I'm the champ. My light, I'm lamp. Look, they can't dim my light, nigga. I'm the lamp. I said they can't dim the light, nigga. I'm the lamp. E.B.C.G. podcast episode 49. I'm right on time. Should I keep going? Should I keep flowing? New microphone, who's this? You already knowing. I started with $1 and a dream. I started with a cassette tape. I started with a boombox and the radio and the speaker and the stereo and left rack on the 16th floor. Who would have ever thought? Yeah, who would have ever thought that all these words, they would have came from thoughts. Came from thoughts. E.B.C.G. Everybody Can't Go podcast. Will Maddie TV. The TV stand for television, by the way, if you didn't know. Which I thought I was just talking about television. Come on, man. Cause that shit be telling lies to your vision. That's the problem with y'all. Y'all don't got no vision. Y'all rather listen. They telling lies. Spitting it through the speaker. They sit on LA leakers. I remember I had a beeper. I did this. I made it. I made it. MAMBA, yeah. What we doing? Yep. We just getting started. And I'm gone.